Okay, so today we are going to talk about alternative energy. We've been talking about how we use fossil fuels for energy, but then today, most of your classes, we started talking about how we kind of have a fossil fuel dilemma in that we need coal, oil, and natural gas, our fossil fuels, to provide us with electricity, and that in the United States, we're mostly relying on coal, oil, and natural gas, our non-renewable fossil fuels for energy, but however, because fossil fuels are non-renewable and we're using them faster than we can remake them, that kind of presents us with a problem, because once they're gone because they were formed 300 million years ago. So one solution to that problem is to use what we call alternative energy. Okay, so you want to be on page 85 in your journal, and you will look at the PowerPoint and then fill in the blanks where you need to fill it in. This whole page will be done by the end of the video. Okay, so what is alternative energy? Okay, alternative energy is renewable. Renewable means this is easy to replace. Remember, we talked about how we can have non-renewable natural resources and renewable natural resources. Alternative energy uses renewable resources to provide us with electricity. Okay, so that means we can easily replace it and have a constant supply of it. So make sure you are, just so everyone's clear, that you're filling in the blanks as you read the notes on the PowerPoint. Okay. All right, alternative, okay? All that word alternative means is another option, okay? Alternative would be another choice. So instead of using fossil fuels, we will use this, okay? So all alternative means is it's another option or another choice instead of using fossil fuels, okay? So we have 5 forms of alternative energy or renewable energy that we are going to be responsible for knowing. You will need to make sure tomorrow that you can tell me the definition with the motions that I will show you right now about our fabulous 5 forms of alternative energy. Okay, so the first one is solar energy. And solar energy is energy that we get from the sun via or using a solar panel. Okay, mirror words. Solar energy, energy we get from the sun. Okay, so solar energy is energy we get from the sun. Okay, wind energy. Okay, so wind energy is energy we get from moving air using what we call a wind turbine. Okay, that's what these are pictured right here. You've seen them a lot. Back in the old days, they used to call them windmills. Okay, but wind energy we get from that moving air. When it spins that turbine, it can use that to produce electricity. Okay, so mirror words. Wind energy, energy we get from moving air in a wind turbine. Wind energy, energy we get from moving air in a wind turbine. Okay. Hydroelectric energy. Okay, so that's a fancy long word, but we can break it into 2 parts, hydro and electric. Hydro means water. Okay, anytime you see that prefix hydro, it means water. And then, of course, electric would have to do with providing electricity. Okay, so hydroelectric energy is energy that we get from moving water by building a dam. Okay, you've probably seen either pictures of a dam, or some of you might have seen a dam in real life, but they're really pretty big. Most of them are really pretty big. And you can see there's a lot of moving water, and then there's a lot of stuff inside of that turbine that's going to help change that moving water and transform it into electricity that we can use. And we'll go into more detail about each of these tomorrow. Right now, I just want to make sure you understand the definition of each word, okay? So, mirror words. Hydroelectric energy is energy we get from moving water. Hydroelectric energy, energy we get from moving water, okay? Biofuels, okay? This is another form of alternative renewable energy. So, we get it from burning things like crops, like corn or wheat, dead plants and animals, and even animal waste. And hopefully you know what I mean by animal waste. Okay, I know that's kind of gross, but we can burn those things to help provide us with electricity, as well as biofuels. That keyword there is fuel. We can use this as a source of energy for fuels in our car as an alternative to using oil and natural gas. Now, a way to remember, so basically biofuels comes from something that was once living, okay, or had to do with a living thing, such as their waste, their bodily stuff. Bio, anytime you see that word prefix bio, it means life. For example, the study of biology is the study of life. So bio means life, so an easy way to remember biofuels is to remember that prefix bio, and it's basically a fuel that we can use that comes from using something that once had life, okay? So mirror words, biofuels, energy we get from living things. Biofuels, energy we get from living things, okay? And then our last one, another kind of big word, is geothermal energy. And geothermal energy is energy we get from heat deep in the Earth's core, okay? And as you can see right here, okay, look at the land on the top. Look at how far down they're going into the ground, okay? They have certain machines and pipes that can go deep and get the heat from deep in the Earth's core and use that to produce energy. The prefix geo means earth, and you of course know what thermal means. It means heat. So again, we can use those prefixes and those base words to help us remember the meaning. Geo means earth, thermal means heat. Okay, so mirror words. Geothermal, energy we get from heat deep in the Earth's core. Geothermal, energy we get from heat deep in the Earth's core. Okay, so let's review. So we have 5 forms of alternative energy. We use alternative energy for electricity, fuel in our car, instead of, as another option to using our fossil fuels, our non-renewable coal, oil, and natural gas. So alternative energies are renewable because they can easily be made and found. And we have solar energy from the sun, wind energy from moving air in a wind turbine, hydroelectric from moving water, biofuels from things that were once living, and geothermal from heat deep in the Earth's core. Okay, be ready to show me those 5 awesome forms of alternative energy, and I will see you tomorrow.